Nice to see you again. Figuratively, you beautiful buckets of buckets. I'm back with another episode of Black Shade. This time I'd like to talk about God. Now before you leave, just wait. I'm not gonna preach. When I say God, I mean the universe, of course. I mean the unity. I mean all that is, you, me, and everything in between. And out between. God and the universe are the same. God is all that ever is, all life, all still matter, and everything else on the spectrum that we don't know about yet. I know that some of you may have heard about dimensions or learned about dimensions. You may have even gone as far as to look into further dimensions. I like you. Now the resources we have on YouTube and other places, they do a pretty good job of projecting a reference point of understanding. But to truly get it without touching these things, I'll show you what worked for me, a way of understanding. Now I will add, I got a little bit of insight from places that you may not respect, but I will be doing a trip report very soon to let you know about that experience and what it led to in my life. I found God. It wasn't at church. It was at the homie's basement. And it wasn't a white dude that looked like Jesus this time. Let's get on with it. Now, I'm actually going to do a series of videos dealing with this subject. There is very much to the universe, multiverse. I'm sure you understand there is equally, if not infinitely more to God, which is the multiverse. Am I talking in circles here? Dimension zero. That's my old nickname. Imagine a point, right? A literal point, just an atom. I don't know if you can do this. I find it very difficult to imagine that, but I actually find it more difficult to imagine the very massive. A simple point. Now this point has no space whatsoever. There's nowhere to go. It's just infinitely there. Might as well not be there. This is zero dimension. Now to go up a dimension, you have to add direction. Heading one direction entails that there's another direction. It's basic math, bro. No, it's not. Now for this dot to go up a dimension, it has to experience every eventuality of itself. Everything we speak of dealing with dimensions must express every eventuality of itself. It's a simple rule of thumb that increases the entire way up to the top. Where God at? Every manifestation of a dot finding a direction to go and in turn creating its opposite creates a line. They say a line is the shortest difference between point A and point B, but I took a while to get here. Now what's next after a line? Every eventuality of this line, if you were to add another direction in addition to the forwards and backwards of this line, give it left and right. To go left and right would create a series of lines, in turn creating a plane, a square. There was a book by a bro that I didn't read, but I watched the videos on. It was called Flatland. It depicted a person. Ooh, I can talk like Carl Sagan right now. Imagine a place. A man lives in this place. We'll call it Flatland for simplicity's purposes. That was a very good impression. In Flatland, he's one atom thick. He can go forwards and backwards, left and right. In Flatland, there's forwards and backwards, left and right. To add a dimension would mean that we would have to express every eventuality. Every eventuality of these squares would look kind of like a stack of paper, right? If the paper was here, 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 he trails, you would experience a cube, right? This is also where our bodies exist. This is where your mama exists, and this is where your daddy exists. This is where we find Earth. Now, this is the part where many of us trip up on. I know back in the day when I first gained interest in this is the part that tripped me up until I found through the internet, because it started growing and growing, we added a dimension, and now we can also go up. That flat plane became a stack. It looks like a cube. We'll go ahead and stick with the cube for the reference point, if that helps. Now, if we're sticking to our rule of thumb, in order to go up a dimension, one has to express every eventuality of oneself. Now, I know you may have seen a hypercube or something similar. Some call it a tesseract, Metatron's cube. Instead of a tesseract, which is extremely fucking confusing, instead I'd like you to imagine something more akin to a sphere. To exist in the fourth dimension is to understand and be aware of the entirety of the cube. It's to know the duration of the cube. It is to all at once be able to perceive all that is the cube. I presume every atom of the cube, but even at a basic level of simply being able to understand the entirety of the cube's lifespan is personification. Even being able to perceive and understand the entirety of the cube's existence is enough to be classified as being a witness within the fourth dimension. We ourselves are fourth dimensional beings simply because upon death, our final achievement, we are able to express every eventuality of ourselves. We've witnessed every part. Now, after the fourth dimension, what's next? Crazier ass hypercubes. Dimension 5 is nothing but what some would consider universes outside of this universe. Now, when I say the term parallel universes, I mean that they exist simultaneously, possibly with different rules, different physics engines, if you will. This would be all of the cubes ever, in all of their shapes, understood all at once. The ones that are determined, that is. Determined meaning everything that does actually end up happening. Many scientists agree that outside of our infinite universe, there are infinite universes, kind of like bubbles in a room full of bubblers. It's everything that does happen in these respective universes. Dimension 6 is chance. When I say chance, I mean every possibility, the actual possibilities, the existence of every possibility of every universe in the multiverse. The fuck? Don't ask me how. On high authority, this is it. I'm not good at math, by the way. I just want to say that now. Math not me thingy. History, yeah. And shrooms, yeah, but nah, not math. Not math. Dimension 7. Some of us have heard of numerology. Why is God perceived as being one with the number 7? Where did the understanding come from that 7 was God's number? Who has dominion? What is every existence of everything that could ever happen? God. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on 7, 8, and 9. That rhymed. They all rhymed. But I personally only think that we have 9 dimensions. Again, not good at math. Now I know some scientists say there are 10 dimensions. Some scientists say there are 11. I'm not a scientist. I say there are 9. I'm not good at math. I'm not. Dimension 7 will be God's consciousness. If God is a being that experiences consciousness, I believe this is where it would be. Dimension 8, I presume, would be God's test. If our test is time, we exist within time. It's the one thing that prevents us, well, our soul us's, from proceeding. Dimension 8 could possibly be God's version of time. And Dimension 9, the true infinity. Duh. If God has a time, then the actual determination of what happens within his equivalent of time. I don't even know how this goes, yo. 9 is true infinity. 9 is everything that does happen for God, if there is an end. I don't know how this works. It's what I was told. Now, I'll make more videos about the structure of God and the universe from my perspective, things I learned from over there. And also, I'll be doing that trip report for anybody interested. There are a lot of things we don't know. I advise you go find them out. make sure you follow me and subscribe. Okay, I will follow back unless you just got absolute shit going on with you. Subscribe if you like it. Also, if you don't like it, hit the dislike, please. It helps me know what you don't like for the 10 people that will see this. Leave a comment down below if you have any type of opinion. If you think that I should stop smoking so much weed. If you think that I'm spot on. If you think that I'm completely off. Let me know down below. I'm down and I'll probably respond to you. Until next time, be blessed. Thank you.
We all black men.